Hey guys, this is JP Player 127 here with Top 10 GG, and today I'm going to bring you something a little different. This game is called 7 Billion Humans, and it's created by corp. It is a programming-like puzzle game, and I know this is magic content, but I think you guys will find this pretty fun. So I was playing around with this, it's come out pretty recently, and I thought it would be pretty fun to make videos of. So I played a little bit, so we'll just make a new account here, and I'll play the whole thing, and we'll be this person. Alright, perfect. So there's a little bit of backstory to this game. They have a kind of really convoluted story, so I'll play the short little cutscene here.
Hey you! Are you a hard-working farmer? Let machines do that for you. Are you a hard-working coal miner, truck driver, or coffee shop employee? Let machines do that for you.
Well, actually...
Tastes like progress.
But aren't there any good jobs left for hard-working families like us?
You'll never need to work again. Machines have provided unlimited free energy, unlimited fast, clean transportation, unlimited free nutritious food. You're completely free to do whatever you want in marvelous modern utopia.
But we want good-paying jobs!
Okay, creating jobs.
You want jobs? You will have jobs. They will be the best jobs. Huge. Believe me, you have never seen so many jobs.
Where can we get these jobs?
Just show up on Monday. The machines have created enough jobs for every single person on the planet and the whole family to enjoy.
I have a PhD in medieval French literature.
Even the most useless skills can be put to work in the new office building visible from space. Congratulations, all 7 billion humans on the planet. You're hired.
So yeah, it's a pretty funny cutscene. So this game is slightly programming, as I mentioned. It's actually a sequel of a game called Human Resource Machine, which is another similar kind of programming type puzzle game. So yeah, we'll get started. Alright, so the kind of idea of this game is that you want to tell all of these people to do the exact same thing. So you can do things like tell them to move, but this kind of script thing here, it works for all 3 of the people at the same time. So to do this one, you have to pick it up and then just drop it again. So I'm gonna step forward, pick it up, and then drop it. So then all these people are just gonna step forward and pick it up and drop it. So this game gets significantly harder, and they introduce new mechanics as you keep going, which I think they add another one here. So this one will get significantly harder as we keep going, and I haven't completed all these, I just completed the first couple ones. So this one, you want to step down one, pick it up, and then you want to step twice and drop it, because you just wanted it to be moved 2 things down, I believe. Yeah. So then they should just pick it up, yep, and then go down and drop it. Yep. Alright. And on to the next one. So these are going to get significantly more complicated and more difficult to actually complete. And this guy just kinds to say a lot of random stuff. It's sometimes not helpful, but they always end up telling you what you actually need to do. So in this one, alright, so the new jump command, essentially this one is just telling you to jump to a different part in the actual program. So in this case, we want everyone to pick up the thing on the ground, and then you want them to keep going until they walk through the holes. So in this case, they're going to step to the right, and they're going to continually doing this because then it gets to the step to the right, then it goes down here and it jumps back up here. If you know any programming, it's similar like a go-to command in like really old programming. They don't really have this exact kind of thing in newer programming. But yeah, so they should then pick this up and then continually, and they're continuing to do this until they fall through these holes, which always an interesting mechanic. And then there's also a really convoluted type story to these games, and like in this case, robots have taken over and they're making jobs for people, which is always interesting. Alright, so this one is, we now have an if command, so it lets us kind of control what we're doing. So in this case, we want to walk into these holes, but you want to walk into the right hole. So this one, I believe, so the first thing you want to do is you want to detect, I think, which side the actual cube's on. So I'll do if to the right of the person is a data cube, then they're going to want to step to the right, they're going to want to pick it up, and then they're going to want to step to the right forever. If it is not on the right, then they're going to want to, so you could use an else here. If else is just, if this isn't true, then you're going to do something else. In this case, since this one is going forever, it's never going to get here if this isn't true. So you know, like this one, they just have to step to the left, pick it up, and then they're going to do the exact same thing that we did up there, and then just jump infinitely. So as we keep going, there's also going to be like speed challenges, which is why getting rid of the else is important. So like here, I'll run it with without the else. You see that these all work just fine. If I head back here and I move all these inside the else, you can see that it does the exact same thing. Yep. So then this just kind of saves one line of space, which will be somewhat important later on. Alright, so we're on to Little Exterminator. And yeah, let's start this one day. These first couple are made to be just teach you different kind of mechanics. So this one is, they have a couple new kind of programs in this one, which is figure out how to fix these previous programs, or the programs they already give you. So in this case, the person, they already have them walking here, and then they have them start walking across the bottom here. When it detects that there's nothing, it will, when it equals nothing, then it jumps. If it doesn't, then it goes down, 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 and picks it up. Okay. So the way that it's currently working is you have it walking down, down, left, left, down, and then you have it stepping to the right. If to the right equals nothing, then you're to the right equals nothing. So the way that it's currently written right now doesn't make much sense. What we can actually do is if the bottom, since you step it through one line at a time. Yeah, so the right does not equal nothing, so then it, Oh, because the right equals nothing because there's nothing on the block, that's why. But since it detects that the right equals nothing here, it continues walking this way. So the way that you can fix this is we're instead going to detect for these little holes down here. So if the bottom equals a hole, then you're going to keep running to the right, and then once it's not a hole, then you can keep going, then you can start going down. Hey, that worked. Alright. Cool. So then there's probably also a couple other ways you could do this. The first one I could see is if the bottom is not nothing, then keep going to the right. So like here it goes, it's not nothing, it's not nothing, it's not nothing, here's nothing, and now it walks straight up, over to 2. So yeah, the way that you can actually solve these puzzles in a ton of different ways, which is really, really interesting, and it keeps the puzzles really interesting, especially if I scroll up for a little bit and see that there are a ridiculous amount of puzzles. So, and it will take a lot of time as keep getting higher. Sorry, to the collation station. All right. They like to have those little jokes in there. So this one, we want to line up the D cubes at the bottom. So first thing you want to do is if to the bottom is a. So starting in this one, the pickup actually is directional, which is interesting. So if to the bottom is a data cube, then you're going to want to pick up to the bottom. If it's not a data cube, then you're going to want to check if it is a hole. If it is a hole, oh no, if it's not a hole. Alright, so I'll explain kind of what this will do in a second. So if it's not a hole, then you're just going to step downwards. Once you get to a hole, you're done, right? You're down here, then you just need to drop the data cube down at the bottom. So now it should do this, except the only thing is that it does not continually detect. So you have to do, once you get that it is indeed not a hole, then you must actually, I think you actually want it to go like this, actually, yeah. So if it's not a hole, then you want to go up to the beginning because you want to check if it's a data cube again, because like not all of them are in the same places. And then the only thing is here, you just want it to go back up here, because if it is a data cube, then you also want it to go back to the top. So now you can see they're continually checking where the data cubes are. And yeah, cool. These are a little bit awful puns, but ooh, alright, this is a second cutscene. Intro to morale officers.
Congratulations, you're doing great.
I cannot believe how great you're doing.
As your employee morale officers,
We are here to offer occasional tips on how to keep your workers feeling delighted.
for example,
Come on up, Jeff.
we find that workers appreciate an occasional confirmation of a job well done,
You might say, congratulations, you're doing great.
followed by a gentle but firm pat on the rear.
That avoid Jeff.
When I was his age, I was a refrigerator.
Good work, everyone.
You know how many salads wilted inside me?
With enough teamwork and engineering, even a kitchen appliance can become a mid-level office manager.
We're not just building data solutions,
We're building a family.
Oh man, these are certainly a little bit cringy, but oof, they're definitely funny. So we'll get started on dynamic angles. I think this is where things start getting a lot more confusing. Yeah, it's definitely where it starts getting more confusing. Ooh, diagonal line. So we're taking this one and we're gonna go like this way. Right, so the cool thing here is that you can tell. Yeah, so now there's going to be size and speed challenges. So the thing here is that if you have all these walking in a line, you could just tell them to stop. I think the best way to go about doing this, you have them step down, you have them pick it up, and then you're going to want to check if there's something to the left, to the top left of it, the data cube to the top left, because you can do that with the if statement. So you can see if the top left is a data cube, then you're going to want to straight. You're going to want to drop it. If it's not actually, I think I can actually just get rid of a step. So we're going to have it pick up the data cube. We're going to have it check if to the top left is data cube. If it is, it's going to drop it, and then it's going to be done. If it's not, then actually, okay, so this is kind of here, I'll show you non-optimized, and then you can kind of optimize a little bit, right? So you can have it, if it isn't a data cube, right, then you want to step down, because then you're going to check again if the next place is the right place to drop it. So if I show you what this looks like, this person then determines that it is correctly in the diagonal line, right? So this is 7 steps. Right, you can see that the optional size challenge here is actually 5 steps, and so we did, this works on the speed challenge, but it needs to be 2 fewer commands. So for the most part, I'm not gonna be super worried about getting all these perfect, but in this case I can kind of make it a lot faster pretty quickly. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say that if it is not a data cube, then you're gonna want to step down, right? Right. Next is that you just want this to repeat, right? Once it finally detects it is data cube, you drop it, and then you're done. Right? Because you don't need to redo this every time. So now this is down to 5 different ones. So now you can see that it's stepping down, then checking if it's in the right place, and then dropping it. And then they kind of stop there. So this one works, and we should have completed the goal this time. Yep, the goals will get really, really hard very soon. And this is pretty close to how far I got last time. I think I got to like up here, but not much farther than this. Alright, on to injection sites. Alright. So what this guy is saying, this one, is that we're supposed to take these little data cubes and then put them in their right spots. And so in this case, I think we just want them to first pick up the data cubes. Then we want them to keep walking down until they find one of these spots. So what is the best way to determine if they found one of these spots? I think the best way to determine it is if to the bottom left is a, if to the left is a data cube, and you can actually add multiple parameters here. Right, so we're saying if to the left is data cube and where you're standing right now is nothing, then you're gonna wanna drop. And actually, right, so in this case we're gonna need an else, right? You can basically make it the opposite by saying not equals and replace this with an or, right? Because you're saying if it's not a data cube, or it's not nothing. So that basically says when you're here, although this is a data cube, this is nothing, this is not nothing, so this one's still gonna this one will still run. So in this case, we'll drop at the bottom, we're gonna have them step down here, and we're just gonna have this repeat. So essentially now, it's gonna first pick this up, then it's gonna keep walking down until it finds both the data cube to the left and nothing where they're currently standing, drop it, and end the program. Ooh. I made a mistake here. The jump command should not be running the pickup command every time. And yep, and they found all the spots are empty. And I think, there's 5, and so mine is slightly slower, but I did get the right number of commands. I'm not going to attempt to optimize all these, so 10, 11, I guess I should have done that in order, but 10, the branches like here, these are all optional, but I'm going to do them anyway, just because they're fun. Get onto these emergency escapades, I think that's the word. That is quite the mistake. So you have to follow the right place or you're gonna get stuck. So in this case, it tells you which way to go. So in this case, they're gonna want to go follow these lines. So you can see here, if it gets to a 1, then it's gonna want to step up. So we want to then do this for the other ones as well. If it equals a 2, it's gonna step to the right. And actually, I'm gonna move this in the else of this one because actually, never mind. Just keep this for simplicity's sake. Oop, my bad. 2 is step to the right, 3 is step down, and 4 is step left. Oop. So you can see that we have all this implemented. So if the current one is equal to nothing, then we're going to want them to, or you know what, we're going to have step to the left if it is equals 4, or it is nothing, right? Because then we want them to just first step all the way to the left to get out of here. And then we're going to want them to keep running this because they are going to attempt to get out of this building. So see if this works. So this is definitely not the most efficient way, and I'll kind of speed this one up because I'm pretty sure this, yeah. So they're following the directions correctly, but it's clearly taking a lot of iterations to get to when they actually do what they need to do. As you can see here, solution did indeed of 9, but if you look at the speed, it's like 180 seconds off. So to fix this, there's a couple of changes you can make. First would be, if it equals 1, then it's going to be done. If it equals 3, then it will be done as well. If you know that it doesn't equal 3, then you know that it needs to step to the left, right? Because essentially, first it's going to see if it can step up. If it's not, then it's going to try to step to the right. If that's not the right one, then you're going to step down. But if that's not the right one, then it's always step to the left, right? Because you want to continually walk to the left here. So I think this should be slightly faster here. It's definitely taking a while, but you can see that it's definitely running significantly faster. Let's see if it see, it's no longer within the 9 commands, but oh, still 145 seconds. So there's definitely something here that's significantly slower than it needs to be. So, oh, that's why. So the reason that this is taking so long is because a lot of the time are 4s, right? So you want it to be able to check if it is a 4. The first one that you should be checking for is if it is a 4. So the most common ones are 4s and what? 3s. Or 3s and 1s are all the same. So 2 is definitely the least common one. So that's the one that you should be doing on the bottom. So you can see that if the current one is equal to 4, and you want to kind of keep it in order of what they're doing. Or it's equal to nothing, you want to have them set to the left. If that's not true, then you're going to want to move this in here. Oop. So now this one should be a little bit faster because first it checks for, so I said 4s, 1s, and 3s are about all the same. So I'm going to switch these real quick. So the actual order that you check for them isn't super important, except the ones that you check for more, you're going to have more of them because it makes it faster for it to find. So if you can see here, although it seems like we may have just made a couple of small changes, I would suspect it's significantly faster now than it was before. So now it's bigger than 9 commands still, but the speed is, it's slightly faster. So there's definitely things that can be done to make this one significantly faster, which, I mean, yeah, there's definitely, right, so there's definitely a way to optimize this, like here, because you see that there's long chains here, it's going to take up more space, but you can make it walk significantly faster. So the first thing I can think of is, first thing you want to do, if we're no longer concerned about how many lines it takes, is you want to detect if current thing is equal to nothing, or until, if it does not equal data queue, then you're going to want to keep stepping to the left, right? And you just want this to keep going a lot of times. As soon as it does, then you're going to want to start going down here. So the first thing is going to be, again, 4 so is most common, so we'll have it check for 4 first. What it's going to do is it's going to so what we're gonna have to do is it's gonna keep stepping left, and then I'm gonna have it jump here, right? Because if you assume that there's a lot of 4s in a row, you want it to just keep doing this until there's no longer a 4 there. Next thing is that once it does not equal 4, if it is equal to a, so you can see that actually the way it should be is if it's a 1, this should be significantly faster. So if it's a 1, then you want it to step upwards, right? Once it's no longer 1, then we're gonna have a 4 because that's the order that's here, 4, 3, and then we'll just have 2 last because that one shows up the least. So if it's a 4, then you're gonna want it to step to the left, and you want this one to repeat until it's no longer 4s. Alright, then you're gonna have it check if it is a 3, because that is next. If it is a 3, you're gonna want to step down. And same thing as before, you want this to keep repeating until it's no longer 3. Then you're gonna have it check if it is a, so at this point you know if it's gone here it is a 2, but you need to continue, you need the checker so that it knows when to stop. So that's the only reason for this actual line. if it's a 2, you're gonna want to step to the right, and then you can have it repeat this until it's done. So then at the very end, it should once you get past, once it is no longer a 2, which is going to be here, you're going to want it to restart. Right. Yeah. Which is going to go all the way back up here. Ooh, there you go. So let's see if this one is any faster, which I would suspect it is significantly faster. So it's definitely nowhere near the size challenge, but the speed challenge is, it's not perfect, but it's significantly closer, which, yeah. So you can see that at 117, we shaved off 22 seconds. There's definitely a way to make this one go faster, but I think this is something for another time. So I'm going to continue back to the elevator. I'm going to head to unzip, and this one is going to be the last level for today. So this one, okay. Now you can have the comment, dudes. So whatever, and then you can use that to denote kind of what you're doing in the code. So you can see so far, all it does is the very first person moves up. The way that you want to do this one is you need some way to tell if they are is essentially you want this person to go up and this person to go down, this person to go up, this person to go down, this person to go up. So what you're going to want to do is if to the left equals a wall, you do want this first person to step down and drop it. For everyone else, you're going to want it to go, if the top left is a data cube, you're going to want it to step down, and drop it. I guess you can do an OR for this one, just so you don't have to waste things, because this is the exact same thing you're saying. Then, if it's not, you want to check if to the bottom left is a data cube. In that case, right, if it goes down here, then you want this person to go up here. So you're gonna have this person step up, and this person drop this data cube, and then you're gonna want to check for this every single time. No matter which one it chooses, you want to just keep going again. The only problem here is that every time it's going to check for something there, but if it's neither of these, then it does nothing, so that's fine. Oop, that is a problem. The first person goes up. Yeah, wrong way. Alright. So this is although this is working, it's continually checking, which is something that is not supposed to happen. Oh, it was just because this person had a wall to the left, so it stopped checking a minute after the first one. See that this did not work with the starting challenge, and it certainly did not work with the speed challenge. So I'll try to optimize this one real quick. What is something that is... So the best way, I think, to do something like this is you want to look for things that are repeated. So the thing that you can do that is repeated is it will drop at the bottom here no matter what, because it's definitely going to pick one over the other, I think. No, because it's only going to... Yeah, so it's not going to do that. So what you can actually do is just go up here, so that these people are going to be continually dropping it, but it does indeed. Ooh, that does not work. That does not work at all. Okay. But then this one does also not work, because then they don't have nothing to drop. How do you trim it? Oh, because you don't need an else. That's how you trim it. You have both these with their own drops, and you don't need the else, because they can both be true. Yep, you can see that it is indeed unzipping. This is going to be nowhere to write on the size one, but it is indeed correct on the commands. Yep. So, yes, that's going to be it for puzzles. Let me know if you guys want to see additional videos of this game. And yeah, this is JP Player here with Top Industry, and see you guys next time.